everyone, and welcome into Cavletics. This is the show where we pull back the curtain and give everyone a look behind the scenes at the athletic department here at Bossier Parish Community College. My name is James Martin Farr III. I'm filling in for Charlie Cavell this week, and today I'm privileged enough to be joined by the Bossier Parish Community College Lady Cavaliers head basketball coach, Coach Brenda Nichols. Coach Nichols, thank you so much for being here today.
Well, thank you. I'm glad to be here.
So the new season's going to begin in just under 2 months, right? November 2nd, I believe, was the first game. And we'll get to that in a minute. But I actually thought it would be really interesting to talk a little bit about your background today. I did a little research for the show, and you were a really good player. I didn't know that. I knew you had played, but I didn't know you were a record-setting type player. So I was kind of hoping maybe we could go back to Sam Houston State. You played 2 years there, and first year was 87, if I'm not mistaken. Wasn't that the same year they moved up to D1?
It was the year before. They moved up right at the end of the year before us, I believe, and then we went into the Southland.
Okay, so because I'm pretty sure that in the 4th grade, I just knew that I was going to play D1 basketball, on my way to the NBA, because of course that was obvious. And then I stopped growing in the 8th grade. So just for me personally, what was it like to play Division I?
It was amazing. I came out of we had just taken 4th in the country in junior college, and about 3 of us all came together to Sam Houston State. So we kind of had our same team coming in from one place to the next. So we kind of dominated a little bit.
Had some continuity, even though you were changing places. We had a lot of
people in there with us together, and we had a lot of junior college players that were playing that first year that all came, and we all played against each other or played with each other. And so Division I basketball, it is the top. It is the top. But it's not the only place for athletes to go play. You could play on any level today, and every level has a championship and a national championship or a state championship. And I encourage everybody, if that is what they want to do, move on and continue to keep playing. And I just got lucky to play the Division I.
Especially with some of the transfer rules and stuff too. It's really kind of a stepping stone for people that do want to play that way but don't go straight out of high school or something. Right. It's a good place to improve and get better and ultimately get there. So.
Right. We're kind of like your insurance policy. If you can't make the grades or you're not getting recruited by the school you really want to go to, then junior college is the place to go. You get a couple years or 1 year. You could leave after a year if you're a qualifier. And, it's a great building place. And I always say that we come in, we take them down, we rebuild them, we get them where they're going. They go off Division I and become All-Americans, and they all get all the glory. But we were kind of the base of the whole building, so it's fun.
So you didn't just play. You were actually a pretty big deal there. I was doing some research for the show. I discovered that I think in career all-time points, you're 17th still in school history.
I believe so.
What's impressive about that, for the people who don't know, she did it in 52 games. Everybody above you did it in over 109. So it's over double of what you did in everybody above you. So to have half the games and still be that high is impressive. I think was it 17.8 points per game?
Yes.
It's like third all time still in school history. So I just want to know, do the players that you've got now know how good you were, or you just coached to them? Because I think you could probably still dunk on them.
Well, we still try to play a little bit against them, but it's all half court. Just remember, I'm not going full court with them. But definitely, it's fun. I still stay active in demonstrating. I still stay active in hanging with them. They do know, I believe, some of the records, and they know that, at one point I was an All-American, and they know some of that because we definitely let them know when they think they know more than us. So.
Oh, yeah, you have to do that. I mean, it's like the kid with their parents. It doesn't matter what happens. You always got to remind them. So you finished playing at Sam Houston State, and there was no WNBA back then. But was there ever a thought to playing overseas or giving that a try? Or
yeah, so I ended up getting married my senior year of college, and so after I got married, I got offered to go play some overseas. But overseas basketball back then was just not like it is today. It was a big chance. I really wanted to. I got my degree. I really wanted to start coaching, and I had that itch, of I want to get in there. I want to give back to the, players. I want to get back, get them educated, get them moving on, and literally within a year I was in a coaching job and moving up the ranks.
That actually led right into my next question, which was, what kind of got you into coaching? Did you always know that's what you wanted to do, or how did that transition take place? Was it natural or?
Well, going through high school, I was a pretty good athlete, and I played all the sports. I ran track, played volleyball, played basketball.
I wish more kids did that nowadays.
Yeah, and so I did the 3-sport athlete. In the summer, we played softball. So I always loved the sport, but I have a little hidden talent that not many people know. I'm an artist. And so I make the best X's and O's you could ever.
That's probably a really good whiteboard.
It is a great whiteboard. It is not going to be messy. But I wanted to go to school. I actually wanted to go to a trade school and become a commercial artist. Well, then I got recruited to go play basketball. And so I put all that on hold, got off to Western Texas College out in West Texas, and they said, your art classes do not meet practice and everything else. So coach said, choose another field, and the other field was physical education at the time.
And it's worked out pretty well, I think.
It worked out great, and there's a little story to that. I went through Sam Houston, it still didn't work, but I have a minor in art. So when I went back to coaching at Sam, I'd always wanted, that's where I got my coaching degree and all that. I actually published, and I'm a children's book illustrator. And so the story at Sam Houston is I left there as a coach and I came back as a coach, but also in the field that I always wanted to go to. I got to experience the thrill of being an illustrator.
And you were there for 12 years?
12 years.
12 years. I think when I was looking, it's the longest tenured coach there, I believe.
Yes.
So very, very successful there, and we're glad you made it over here. This is your second year here?
Second year.
Took over for John Rennie last season.
The pressure's on, isn't it?
I feel like you're taking over for your boss. That's definitely something that's
big shoes to fill.
Definitely. The new season's coming up, and we're going to get into that in just a second. But right now, it kind of seems like a good place to take a really quick break. And when we come back, we'll have a little bit more with Lady Cavaliers head coach Brenda Nichols. So stay tuned.
If any of the children you know are among the estimated 15 million who take care of themselves between the time they get home from school and the time their parents get home from work, a look at after-school programs might be of interest. According to Colorado State University, more than 4 out of 10 children in kindergarten through 8th grade participate in such activities at least once a week. These programs can keep children safe, help them develop social skills, and improve their academic performance. High school students in after-school programs tend to be optimistic about the future and have more interest in school than their peers. They're also more likely to attend college, vote, and volunteer as adults, reports the Journal of Adolescent Research. After-school programs help with career exploration, skill development, service learning, and internships. It's estimated every dollar spent on after-school programs saves taxpayers $3 because of reductions in youth crime, teen parenthood, and school dropout rates. That may be why so many parents, teachers, and others are urging their communities to support after-school programs. When children have homework, it's time for parents to get busy. Not doing it for them, but letting them do it properly themselves. Here, from the experts at the U.S. Department of Education, are some ways to help. Have a special place for your child to study. It doesn't have to be fancy. A desk in the bedroom is nice, but for many children, the kitchen table or a corner of the living room works just fine. The area should have good lighting, and it should be fairly quiet. Provide supplies and identify resources. For starters, have available pencils, pens, erasers, writing paper, and a dictionary. If possible, keep these items together in one place. Set a regular time for homework. Having a regular time to do homework helps children to finish assignments. Work with the child to develop a schedule. Write it out and post it where you'll both see it often, such as on the refrigerator. Remove distractions and discourage phone calls during homework time. Learn more at the2.ed.gov/parents.
Minds can achieve anything. We make sure they get to college. Federal student aid provides more than $150 billion in grants, loans, and work-study funds to make college possible for anyone with the mind to get there. Because if given the chance, minds will do great things. Federal Student Aid, proud sponsor of the American Mind. Learn more about money for college at studentaid.gov.
Welcome back into Cavletics. I'm your host, James Martin Farrar III, filling in for Charlie Cavell this week. And we're here with the Lady Cavaliers head basketball coach, Brenda Nichols. Now, before the break, we were talking a little bit about you, but I want to kind of shift into talking about, the team that you coach.
Yes.
The day job. So, last year, you had Monette Bolden on the team, and all conference, all region. She's moved on to Louisiana Tech now. Just tell me a little bit about a player like that and what that can mean to a program.
I think a player like that, it just explodes a program. I mean, just the caliber of player she is. She knew the game. She knew how to create for herself. Basketball today, if you can't create for yourself, you're going to have a lot of problems. And she was like a bag of Lay's potato chips. She had it all. I mean, she could create. She could score. She could play defense. And she was smart. She got in the classroom. She did what she needed to do. And at the end of the day, she got to go to Louisiana Tech and represent being a Louisiana girl. South Louisiana girl, though.
I feel like you can appreciate Louisiana Tech. I think a lot of people don't realize how good Louisiana Tech used to be. That used to be a power before Connecticut decided that they were just never going to lose. But we went 13-18 last year. First year here, that was a improvement over the year before. The year before, I think they'd won 10 games and 8 the year before that. So we had improvement in the tournament. I think we lost to Angelina that went on to win.
Yes,
right?
to win, yes.
So what kind of positives can you take away from your first year moving forward?
Right. I think coming in, we knew we were ranked 9th. We ended up 6th. So, I mean, to me, we already made a huge jump. And, I just think that we needed to get our players in. We needed to be able to mesh players together and just get the right pieces to the puzzle to come in. And I think over the year, we went out and we recruited. We added some players to what we have left. And, I mean, it's amazing. I think we're going to be very athletic. I love their attitude. They're just a fun group to be around right now.
I think you've read my script because you keep leading me right into my next question perfectly.
30 years of doing this, I think I got a little edge.
So we returned 4 players from last year's team. And I talked to Coach Lavelle a little bit about this last year, but being that it is a 2-year university, the turnover is a lot higher than a 4-year school. A lot of players will be, almost every year it's a new team. And, 1 or 2 players will return, but for the most part, you're returning next to nobody from the year before.
Right.
So how is it kind of keeping the momentum and building the program when you're not working with necessarily the same people year from year?
Right. Well, I think it's like anything. It's like having a blank canvas. And you just got to start with the colors, and you just got to start putting it together and making it all blend together. And I think that's kind of what we did in our recruiting with who we have also coming in. Do you want me to just go right into the players, or
we are going to get into some of the players that you brought in, because that was the next thing I wanted to talk about. The top 5 scorers from last year are all moved on,
right?
And so that's a lot of production to replace. As far as recruiting goes, and this is another thing that I would love to get your opinion on that I talked to Coach Lavelle about, do you try to focus on high school seniors coming in, transfer players, a mix? What is your kind of philosophy on recruiting?
I want a player. I want a player that's going to come in, be good in the community, be good in the classroom, and take care of business on the court. So those are our 3 quality. That's what we want out of a player. I think definitely in today's time, I want to recruit some freshmen to come in, but we're also looking at transfers. I mean, that is the in thing now. Division I transfers.
Because they can sit and not sit out.
The Division I transfer list is huge. We follow it every day, and that is going to change the junior college recruiting, is the Division I transfer list.
Definitely. I've been watching it in football some, and it's definitely getting to be a big deal. So you brought in 2 transfers.
I did.
Autumn Gorman, from Florida A&M, and Gabby Dodson from Arkansas Little Rock. So tell us just a little bit about those 2.
Well, Autumn comes from FAMU, and she's out of Pensacola, Florida, where I've known a lot. I started my coaching career in Pensacola at the junior college there, so I have a lot of contacts there. And she is actually a friend of one of our players who was a freshman, who's Lauren Walker. And so they grew up together, and so it was easy to kind of get another kid that we knew. And it's always a little system, you know. You got to know somebody to get somewhere and keep
you
moving.
can get in recruiting, I'm sure.
She's going to play some point guard for us, but she's also a two-player, very flashy. Can get the ball down the court. She's going to attack the basket, and she does the right thing. Smart on the court, smart off the court.
Nowadays, I think it's almost a requirement to play multiple positions. You know, positionless basketball, as they say.
The word is combo guards.
Right. I like that one. I like the shooting guard, small forward.
Yes.
That's the wing player now. It's not even a guard or forward. It's just a wing player. Couple players that I'm kind of excited to see, and I was looking up some of their highlights when I was researching the show, and it's Jasmine Sanders out of Colfax, Louisiana, and Desiree Jones from Baton Rouge. Jasmine was first team All-District, I think, her senior year. She went to Grant High School, if I'm not mistaken. And then Desiree went to Denham Springs, which they were runners-up in the state tournament. So they were a very successful program. Yeah,
very successful, beat like Benton High. They've done very well. Both are great players coming in as freshmen. Jazz is going to play a lot of point guard for us. She's also a little shooter that can kind of do that combo. Desiree, she comes to us. She's a four-player. You know, she's going to get up there. She bangs on the board. She cleans up well up there, and she finishes well. One of the transfers that we didn't get to is Gabby Dotson, and she's a Louisiana girl. She came by way of Arkansas Little Rock. She came in at Christmas last year, so she was with us last year but couldn't play. And she is the same player you just described, that forward, that slasher, that can go inside, outside. She can kind of do it all. Very flashy, can get to the rim, very long, can grab the rim. So she's got a little bit of ups, and so that's exciting. And then Alex Pollard out of Houston, Texas, our 6'3".
6'3", yes, I saw that.
I mean, her arms are as long as her body. I mean, and just she's going to do a lot of things. She's blocked a lot of shots for us last year. We're going to see a lot out of her this year.
6'3", and there's a 6'1" center on there too. So you got some play. I'm going to Tim Duncan, David Robinson, maybe do a little twin tower action.
We also have Chastity Ross, which is another 6'3", 6'2", somewhere in there, and she's out of Atlanta, Georgia, incoming freshman, and she's a big girl. She's going to be a powerhouse on the inside.
I was looking at some of her highlights too.
Yes, and it's fun. And one of the young freshmen that just came in from Huntsville, Texas, where I was at Sam Houston, I've known her. Her and my son are freshmen here at Bipsy, and they grew up together. They were in kindergarten together and everything.
Oh, wow.
And so Ruka, who comes from Udley out of Huntsville, very athletic. You're going to see a lot of flashy things out of her. She's just got, again, long arms. Our fours and threes, their arms are as long as their bodies. I mean, we did wingspan.
Wingspan.
And it's unbelievable.
If you watch any kind of NBA draft, you know wingspan. It's one of those buzzwords.
Yes, that's a great recruiting tool. Like, the main thing scouts want to know is, what is the wingspan, you know?
The last player that I wanted to kind of get into was Elna Guardiola. Did I say that right?
Well, I don't know. Yeah, you're probably as close as I can get.
She's from Barcelona, Spain, but she did spend some time at the Elite Sports Academy, which I know a little bit about the one in Florida. She was in the one in Barcelona, but I've been to the one in Florida a couple times. That's a really good academy. So she's probably got a lot of experience against some older players or some better competition than some of the other girls. How important is that to kind of bring in too? Just, you know, it gives some more experience without having to bring in somebody that's older.
Bringing in an international player is fun because they just drive. They just have a drive. She's not even in class right now. She starts here soon. You know how the semesters go, and she's already read all her textbooks for the new year. I mean, she's just that type of kid, and she's gonna run a lot of point guard. She is our point guard, and very intelligent on the court. She makes moves. I mean, that you just don't see all the time, and she's I'm not going to say flashy in a way as a show off. She's just got the fundamentals down, which is very impressive.
How did you get here from Spain? I feel like Spain to Bossier City is not necessarily a direct flight, so that's got to be a little bit of an interesting story.
It was a long flight, that's all I know, but we picked her up at the airport at like midnight at the Shreveport airport. So talk about a kid from Barcelona flying into Shreveport, Louisiana.
At midnight.
At midnight, and not much to show except drive her up to Bipsy, throw her in her apartment, and say, welcome. You're practicing in the morning.
I feel like that's probably the best thing. Just stay with the routine.
Her parents actually flew in, and the whole time her parents were with her, she's like, "Go away, y'all go do your thing." Like she didn't. She was ready to just get started.
You got to be independent when you start college.
Oh yeah.
Nobody wants to live with their parents starting college. You got to be independent. So, realistically, for this season, I was wondering kind of what your goals were. What would you consider a successful season? I know everybody wants to win every game in championships, but you're building a program which doesn't happen overnight. So is it something as simple as just seeing, some growth from last year to this year? Or are there some specific goals that you'd like to see? What would be success to you for this season?
Well, I think success in any program is to your players graduate. That's the number one thing. Make sure that they get books and basketball. And that is so important. The second thing is to build the community. Get people to know who Bipsy is. I mean,
that's my next question.
This community, Bipsy is this amazing. It's a hidden gem around here, and people need to know, Bossier City needs to know we are your college. Get over here, come see us. Not just my sport. Come get involved in everything. They have so many things.
And they're good.
Yes. So community is real big, and we're really big in the community. And I want to raise these young ladies that at the end of the day, when the ball goes flat, that their career starts. And, first impressions are important. We teach that. We teach about life after basketball because that ball will go flat and they will have to go out and they're going to have to be young adults in the career world. And that's something that being in the community, doing that kind of stuff is really going to help us. We want to win 20 season win ball games. I'm going to get to that.
Right. Yeah.
Yes. Do we want to win a championship? Of course we want to win a championship. But I think at the end of the day, it's about what we teach about life after basketball, because the ball will go flat.
Do that, and you'll get to the championship.
Yes,
Right? Yeah.
And I think
take a minute.
If they work hard, they do it right, they do books and basketball, I think we'll do fine.
So you kind of led me into my last question, which is I did some community service stuff with the Lady Cavs last season when they were doing some clinics. I was down there shooting with Coach Day, and I was just wondering, this season, do you have anything planned you want the community to know about, or are we still working on that? What do you got community-wise going already?
Well, community-wise, we've already done something with some of the elementaries in Bossier City. We met and greet with them. We're doing skills and drill development in the Benton area that's open to anybody who's in middle school or under. And that's been fun. We do that on Tuesday with them over at Benton
That's
Middle.
what I went and did.
Yeah, and it is fun to see these kids just, try to do what our girls are doing. We're also doing Junk in the Trunk. And Junk in the Trunk is huge. It's September the 21st, right next to the gym, the parking lot. I'm pointing like I know where the parking lot is from here.
That direction somewhere?
Direction. And you can come out. You rent a space from us, and it's I think 15 for one space and 25 for two. But it's a fundraiser for the women's basketball program to help us with scholarships, to help us with feeding them, to help us with equipment. And basically, you bring your own stuff, you set up, and we have a big garage sale, and you get all your process. We just get the space fee.
I feel like I don't have a lot of junk in my trunk. Can I bring extra people to help me fill the trunk?
People to fill your junk in the trunk.
That's not going to be a lot of junk, I'm just saying.
But we'll have fun out there. The girls are out there, and they mingle around with everybody, and it's just a great time.
Good deal. Well, I hope everybody comes out for that. The first game is going to be November 2nd for regular season, and that is going to do it for this episode of Cavletics. Again, I'd like to thank the Lady Cavaliers head basketball coach, Brenda Nichols, for taking time out of her day to join us today, and we definitely wish you the best of luck on the upcoming season. I'll be there for plenty of games. Hopefully a lot of the student body will come out as well, because it really is fun to watch. The team I enjoyed it last year.
Good.
And that's going to do it for today. Messed up. I strongly suggest that you get out to support the athletes. Come to as many games as you want. And once again, thank you for tuning in. My name is James Martin Farrar III. I'm filling in for Charlie Cavell, who I think will be back next weekend. And if you just saw the little slip, he'll definitely be back next week. But until then, we'd like to thank you for tuning in and have a great sports day.